Okay, so today we're going to replace the tire on a racing wheelchair front wheel. So this tire configuration is actually a tubular tire and rim configuration, meaning that the tire is actually glued onto the wheel. So throughout this process, we're going to be removing the tire, cleaning up the rim surface of any leftover glue, and then reapplying some of that glue and reinstalling the tire. To begin, what we do is remove the valve extender if one is located on the wheel itself. So this valve extension, what it does is extends the valve of the tire so that there's access to the valve when it's too short for the rim. So put that aside, and now we're going to let air out of the tire as well. Once all the air is out of the tire, what we're going to do is work our way around the wheel and start peeling the tire off of the rim. So depending on how new the glue is or how well it was previously adhered to the tire and the wheel, it can be kind of tough to get these off, but you just start by simply prying the tire away from the rim on both sides of the wheel and working your way around. So in the beginning, you'll try to grab the edge of the tire, and once the tire starts to peel off the rim completely, that's when you can begin grabbing the tire as a whole and begin to peel it off of the rest of the rim, just working our way around again, grabbing more of the tire and beginning to peel, and this is where it starts to get a bit easier as well. So after the tire is off, just looking around the rim, you can start to see that the adhesive is still kind of left over, leaving a little bit of debris on the rim still. So what we're going to do is clean that off by using some IPA and also a fine grit sandpaper. Just a fine grit sandpaper that you can find in an auto supply store or Home Depot, other stores like that. Then use the sandpaper to prep the rim, so it's going to take off additional adhesive as well. Here we're going to use some IPA alcohol to clean the rim. So after using the light sandpaper to get rid of additional adhesive material, there's going to be a light residue left over on the rim, and that's when we can use the IPA alcohol to clean off the surface of the rim. Okay, now that the rim has been prepared, we're going to use our contact cement and spread a thin layer onto the rim so that we can reinstall the tire. So here we're going to be using the foam paintbrush to apply the contact cement. And again, we're just creating a thin layer of contact cement on the rim itself, so we don't need a lot of access to where it starts to drain over the rim surface. Once you have a thin coat applied to the rim, you can go ahead and take the tire, and then on the inside of the tire, so the face of the tire that's going to meet up with the rim, you'll also apply a thin layer of contact cement. I'm going to pass out. Okay, after the contact cement's been applied to the tire as well, we're going to reinstall the valve extender if the tire was equipped with one, and then we're going to get ready to put the tire onto the rim. Once you've located the valve hole and the rim, go go ahead and insert the valve through the hole and begin installing the tire onto the rim. So here you're going to have to start to pull on the tire and stretch it over the rim, so it starts to get tougher as you work your way around, but just keep applying pressure, stretching that tire and centering it onto the rim. Once you have the tire on the rim, that's when you're going to want to work your way around the whole wheel assembly and make sure that the rim has been, or that the tire has been centered onto the rim. So once you feel confident that the tire has been centered, that's when you can start to fill up the tire with some air and do your initial check on how the tire has been seated. Once filled with air, you can work your way around the wheel assembly again and apply pressure to the tire, moving it slightly on the rim so that it's centered. And if for any reason it's not centered or you're not happy with its location, that's when you can deflate the tire and begin relocating it again while the tire is deflated, then fill it back up with air. Okay, now you've reinstalled a tire onto your rim, and at this point you want to make sure to let the contact cement cure for at least 24 hours before using the wheel. You can do one more final cleaning as well, just to make sure that there's no contact cement on the brake tracks of the rim, so that way when you're braking there's no additional leftover residue that gets on the brake pads. Okay, job well done.